guys know, I'm currently in God rank right now, but because of me being in God rank, I was able to experience something that I've never experienced before, and that is that some of my battles were actually featured on GodTube. So because of that, I want to check out 3 of the battles that I've had on GodTube. I've actually had 5 battles total that was on GodTube, but for one of the battles in particular, I wasn't quick enough to actually save it. But these are the battles that I've had, and we're just gonna be checking out like the first 3 on the list. So I'm not gonna have like transitions like how I normally do for post commentary. I just want to like review like this content and like see like how I performed against other high level players. But anyway, let's get to it. And here we are in the first battle. So I lead off with Ultra Kid Buu, and the opponent leads off with Ultra Super Janemba. So of course Janemba has his strike, you know, unique gauge, so I have to be careful of that. I try to back off and do a quick attack. That didn't work, I got caught by strike. Anyway, they threw in Cell, but they dropped the combo, so I was able to vanish and use my special skill. And then from there, I attacked with Kid Buu, then I swapped to, you know, Majin Buu to trap in Cell, and then afterwards I throw in Janemba to actually try to deal effective damage. Anyway, afterwards I continue my combo against Cell, and then I get a special move, so I use it, and that's when the opponent throws in Piccolo. But on the bright side, it dealt really good damage. Anyway, the opponent tackles with Piccolo. I follow up with Strike, but I guess my timing was just a bit too late, so they're able to vanish. And then when I got out the way, I just drew nothing but Blast Arts cards, so I couldn't really follow up. Anyway, I used Blast or Strike to, you know, go through Piccolo's Blast, and then afterwards I combo accordingly. I throw in Buu again to trap in Piccolo, and then afterwards I throw in Kid Buu to deal that final bit of damage to actually get Piccolo to, you know, revive, to Orange Piccolo. So afterwards, I'm pacing myself because I gotta be careful because Piccolo now has, you know, blast armor on Strike since he revives. The main thing I need to do is try to get Piccolo out of the picture as fast as possible, because if he's gone, then Janemba is safe. So anyway, Piccolo is comboing Buu, and then once I see him swap to Cell and then use his special skill, I throw in Janemba immediately, because just in case if Cell uses an ultimate attack or Rising Rush, I can throw in Kid Buu immediately, and that way I can either tank one of those hits. So anyway, afterwards I end up perfect vanishing Cell, so because of that, I literally just, you know, I combo a little bit, and then from there I use Rising Rush. But on the bright side, the opponent did throw in Orange Piccolo, which is what I wanted. When it comes down to Janemba, I mean, I have Buu, who has element factor advantage. I still have Janemba, who I haven't even used my main ability, let alone had my unique gauge even activated, and I still have Buu, who still has his main ability. So everything is going according to plan as of right now. So after the Rising Rush, the opponent backs off, and then I managed to catch him with my special skill with Kid Buu. So when I did that, they ended up swapping to Janemba, which is perfect because it gave me the opportunity to activate his unique gauge, and because of that, I was able to throw in Majin Buu. Now the thing is, this is neutral damage, which is normally not good, but I didn't even pop my main yet with Buu, so I was able to not only heal myself, but also the team. Anyway, we kind of clashed a little bit with some blast arts, and then afterwards, Janemba ends up catching Buu entirely. But element factor is back, so because of this, I know I can take a few hits from Janemba, especially when it comes down to its ultimate attack, which, I mean, it deals tremendous damage regardless of what element factor you are. But Buu's bulky, so because of that, I took the ultimate attack, and now I know for a fact Janemba is pretty much on the chopping block. He's already had his unique gauge activated, and he already popped his main. Anyway, he continues his combo, I throw in Janemba, then Cell goes in and pops a special skill, and because of that, I throw in Kid Buu because he has more health, and his endurance hasn't been activated yet. So Cell is just comboing, and I'm hoping to get like Majin Buu in quick enough before like things kind of go south, but just right before Buu was able to come back, my endurance was activated. So because of that, I throw in Majin Buu to take the rest of the hits from Janemba, and for whatever reason, I'm assuming maybe Janemba just didn't have any cards, but I was able to take advantage of the situation because now Janemba is wide open. So all I have to do is just be able to combo. But one thing that did slip my mind at the moment was Cell's Vanish wasn't even activated yet. And even though I popped my special skill, I used my ultimate attack against Janemba, and since he nullifies actual upgrades and buff effects, it got rid of my, you know, cover change nullification. But that's perfectly fine because at this point, since Cell is in, I know Janemba's out and he's not coming in anytime soon, I can use this to my advantage. So when I threw in Janemba against Cell, I just combo accordingly, then I pop my main ability, and that way I can try to at least get Cell out of the way. And again, my unique gauge still hasn't been activated, and I have a special move, so it doesn't really matter if I approach the opponent with strike arts, the special move, or whatever the case may be. So I charge straight in, they end up charging in, I perfect vanish, and then I do one strike, one blast, and then I follow up with strike again because I want to save the special move just in case. Sure enough, they had one, they activated my unique gauge, but instead of using the special move to end it, I use the ultimate attack. So there's that. It's kind of crazy knowing that this is my very first like battle in like the top 1K that's ever been featured on GodTube. Like, I genuinely had no idea about this, and then I believe either, like, I forgot if I found out just by checking GodTube or I was checking replays or something of the sort, but just knowing that one of my battles got featured on GodTube is kind of crazy. And again, it was a really good battle all around. Like, the opponent that I fought played very, very well. But again, this is only one battle. Like, we still have a few more battles to check out. And here we are in the second battle. So I lead off with Ultra Kid Buu, and the opponent leads off with LF Pikkon and Super Gogeta. So I'm not really too worried because Pikkon doesn't have Blast Armor on strike, but the opponent had a special move, so that wasn't good. But afterwards, they followed up with Blast. I obviously have Blast Armor on strike, so I used it on Pikkon, then I threw in Buu to trap in Pikkon. Then I threw in Janemba to deal extra damage, and through that, I was able to get actually a good amount of damage off on Pikkon, because again, Janemba just doesn't really care about Element Factory, he's just strong. So anyway, I try to make sure that I keep my unique gauge active for as long as possible. I don't want it to get activated too early just for another unit to absorb it. So when he charged him with strike, I decided to vanish. And then afterwards, I follow up with an attack. Of course, he throws in somebody to cover change it. He threw in Gogeta because it's the safest option because he covers both blast and strike. But afterwards, we get into another clash, and I also managed to win this one. So at this point, there's only like one thing on my mind. Wipe out Gogeta, but then the other thought came into my mind. I could also use this opportunity to try to wipe out Pikkon. So while I was attacking Gogeta, obviously I used Janemba, then I threw in Buu to trap in Gogeta, and then afterwards I threw in Kid Buu to try to deal damage. And then eventually the opponent ended up throwing in Pikkon. But on the bright side, Pikkon has used no special skills whatsoever. So because of that, their unique gauge is just not charged at all. So I know Gogeta is not anywhere even remotely close to his full power. So afterwards, I throw in Buu, and obviously it's the third time I threw in Buu, so it's the last time I can trap in. I caught Gogeta with Blast Arts, and afterwards I use Rising Rush immediately, because if I get him out of the way, Janemba is... Okay, I was going to say entirely safe, but that's not really the case because, you know, the opponent also has Janemba, but he's mostly safe. So anyway, I threw out Rising Rush on Gogeta, I landed the rush, so Gogeta is gone. So for the most part, Janemba is safe. But from here, the main thing on my mind is who's going to be my sacrificial unit if the opponent uses Rising Rush. Because I could sacrifice, like, you know, Kid Buu if things are favorable, but because of this entire circumstance where the opponent used their main ability and then activated their ultimate attack while I had Janemba in, it already activated my ability to nullify, you know, buff effects and attribute upgrades. So at that point, it made a lot more sense for me to try to sacrifice Buu if Rising Rush was activated. But anyway, so now Gogeta's in, but I threw in Kid Buu and I completely, like, vaporized him. So now it's just Janemba versus Kid Buu. And at this point, I'm sitting here thinking there's no possible way in the world I'm going to lose this battle. Like, everything is just favorable. So, after I force an advantage, I pop my main ability, and then I use it, regardless of if the opponent was going to use Rush or not. But the opponent followed up with a special move. I'm guessing that they thought that doing that would have a clash happen, but it doesn't work like that. Ultimate attacks always win. So, afterwards, I throw in Janemba, and at this point, I don't really need to approach. Like, I don't even have to, like, do much, honestly. But when this happened in real time, I was shook. This was like the most bot-like Rising Rush I've ever seen. I'm talking about frame -1. So, but either way, we ended up guessing the rush, so we lived. And then afterwards, I stalled for a second to wait to see if they were going to sidestep, quick attacked in, and then knocked out the opponent. So, yeah, the Rising Rush was crazy. Just the fact that it was like, I'm talking about frame -1, like the millisecond I removed my finger from the Strike Arts card, that's when they activated Rising Rush, which is why I got caught by it. But we still managed to win, and even if the opponent did land the rush, I still had Kid Buu in the back. And there was no way we were going to lose that battle. So I'm just happy that we were able to get Pycon out of the way early on, because if we didn't, he definitely would have been a major threat to Janemba, especially if Gogeta was in and if they had charged up the unique gauge. But anyway, on to the final battle. Here we are in the final battle. So I lead off with Ultra Kid Buu, and the opponent leads off with Ultra Super Janemba. So I notice that's a common trend with a lot of people. Anyway, the opponent just charges straight in with Strike. I don't know why. So I vanish out the way with Kid Buu, then I throw in Majin Buu just because, one, I'm able to trap the opponent in, and two, if I activate his unique gauge, Buu's gonna be able to take the hits. The downside is Janemba got crits with his ult, so that didn't help. But anyway, they throw out Blast, I vanish with Buu, then I throw in Janemba. At least now I know for sure that I have at least a sort of defensive veil with, you know, his unique gauge. Anyway, I force the opponent to vanish. Afterwards, I throw in Kid Buu, and I catch them on the sidestep. Then I deal as much damage as I could. And at this point, I'm just worrying about trying to activate either Kid Buu's or Zamasu's endurance. But I noticed that the opponent is actually playing very, very passive. So because of that, I try to take advantage of that with Tap Blast and Ki Blast. And then I noticed that they keep on doing sidesteps with Kid Buu just because they have a special skill. So if they're playing passive, they're probably going to be playing like that throughout the entire match. So I can take advantage of that like opportunity. So anyway, I end up catching the opponent. Then afterwards, they throw in Zamasu, but Zamasu ate the ultimate attack, which is unfortunate, but I would have much rather preferred just, you know, purging him with the ultimate attack, but it is what it is. Anyway, Zamasu popped his main, so when the opponent swapped to Kid Buu, he had another, you know, special skill, so that wasn't fun to deal with. But now I can put the opponent in a predicament where they have to decide, you know, what they have to do. Let Kid Buu die, or let somebody else take, like, a lot of damage. But luckily, as I was thinking about that, I decided, you know what? Instead of giving them that breathing room, I can throw in Buu, then throw in Kid Buu, and then try to land my ultimate attack on Kid Buu and wipe him out. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked out flawlessly. Afterwards, Zamasu goes in, and at this point, I'm not worried because, I mean, they can throw in Janemba, but by this time, my Janemba came back. So I tried to, like, drop the combo and try to catch them, but it didn't work out too well. But they start comboing. I'm still not worried. And then afterwards, they drop the combo for whatever reason. So I throw in Buu, and I pop my main ability just to heal everybody. Then afterwards, the opponent just charged in with a special move. I don't know why. But since Janemba's trapped in, I followed up with Strike. And then afterwards, I threw out a special move, wiped out Janemba, and because of that, there was absolutely zero way that the opponent was going to win. So they forfeited. So, yeah, it's, again, I'm honestly just happy at the fact that I was able to not only have like these intense battles, but also to be able to have some of these battles featured on GodTube. Again, GodTube is, if I'm not mistaken, reserved for players in the top 1K that fight each other. Then they put that out for everybody to see, like with the replays and whatnot. And apart from the one that I wasn't able to save, which I won that battle, by the way, apart from the one that I wasn't able to save, it's just cool knowing that I was able to experience this while being up in the top ranks. So yeah, I've never made like, you know, a video like really reviewing like battles from the top 1K, but I thought that this would be like a different like change of pace. It's technically a post commentary video, but I still wanted to see like how this was going to turn out. But I do want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.